Hey, welcome back, Binder and Unreal Adventure fans, here for another episode at the IHPA R&D shop. This episode we got Zaed, we got Kory's up in town. He brought us a bunch of gifts for the Cheap Scout in the back. Those guys have been hustling on that. I've been on my White Scout project here, busting away at it. You're gonna like this episode, trust me. So it's been a busy couple weeks here at the R&D shop. As you can see, I got White Scout body is gone. We've got it lizard skinned on the inside, undercoated underneath. It's off at the painter, getting turned back into white and black on the fender flares. Been working on the frame, axles over here, roll cage over there, engine and tranny. Hoping in about a week's time, axles and stuff will be back underneath the frame. Been reinforcing it, working on skid plates on it, and getting all that done. I've had the plan for these skid plates for quite a while. It was kind of like an improvement of what I did on Hideous. Once I get done with that, I'm going to move to the back. I'm going to build like a tubular roll cage deal for the fuel tank, and then I'm going to incorporate or at least I'm going to try to incorporate a rear winch. Was talking with Christian the other day, and of course he brought up Johnny Wood and the successfulness of having a rear winch, and I was like, got the little balls rolling in the cranium here. And I talked with John at Come Up Winch. Come Up's a Unreal Adventure winch sponsor this year. They've joined us. We're really happy to have them. So I'm pretty committed to having an 8274 Warren up front, and that's because of my bumper design, which I'm reusing from the previous White Scout. In the back, I think I've got room to stuff in one of their 8,000 pound comp winches. So I'm pretty stoked. Got that coming on the way, and we also got a 9.5 winch that they offer, one of their newest variants coming for Cheap Scout in the back. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna get back to work on my skid plates and send Joe over to go bug Kory and Zaed, and they'll tell you about what's happening on Cheap Scout, because a lot's happened on that thing the last few days.
Hey guys, last time we left off, I was building up the front axle, and as you can tell, a lot more has become of the front axle. Kory showed up here, I believe, Friday at 3 a.m.
It was Saturday at 3 a.m.
So we were both reported for duty by 8 a.m. Saturday, and we worked from Saturday from 8 a.m. all the way till 2 or 3 in the morning that day. So in a nutshell, Kory showed up, unloaded some seats, unloaded some axles. As you can see, there's some around here. We took parts off of his donor axle from Cody.
Donor as in, they're no longer in my backyard where he put them.
And it's a good thing they were taken apart because they were assembled.
They were like built when he was in his teenage years, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, they weren't done very well, but apparently it worked. So we took those apart, and then we took those outers and we put it on this axle. We put together the Yukon chromoly axle shafts, the super joints, the hardcore hubs in there. So the axle is completely done. And then we finally started unboxing and looking at all the Barnes and Skyjacker stuff. And then, as you can see, we've come a long ways here. Hub action here.
This might be too shiny for us. Should we throw some salt on them and leave them out overnight?
Yeah, we're gonna paint these up.
Yeah,
Make them look disgusting. Turns out we should have built the axle here.
Yeah, I mean,
now
we built it all the way over there. Now we got to carry it over here. All right, we moved the axle with lots of sweat and blood and grease. But we got it over here. It wasn't easy to bring it through that corridor. It would have been much easier if it was about 8 foot wide. But we're gonna see what happens here. We're looking to see where we can get the tire. Being that it's gonna be a 3-link, it's not gonna plunge in and out like it would with a reverse shackle kit where the tire actually is coming back towards the cab. This is larger than the 37 that we're gonna run. It's just a little big for a 37. We're gonna get it. This is our firewall, our fender and everything. We don't care, we will cut a hole. That does not matter to us. But we want to make sure that we got enough clearance here We also want to get it far enough forward that our approach, we got to remember right now that the tire is even with the front of the frame. We have a winch that's going to go on here, which is fine to be behind that. I'm behind that. We just want to make sure we're going to see where we kind of want to land our axle center line. Once we figure that out, then we're going to start figuring out our brackets and projecting back 36" for our actual lower link. As soon as we get that 36" measurement, then we'll tack in the mounts. We'll make some links, we'll tack in the hangers on the axle, and then we'll be able to get this thing kind of centered, and we'll start looking at where we can put our third link mount. So we may have to put a truss on this first. We don't know. We're just going to stare at it, see what we got in our Barnes boxes, and get it done as best we can. So this is an original Scout 2 box. Now it actually mounts right about here. What'd you say?
Yeah, right about. Yeah, here. Yeah. Right here.
So it's right. It goes right here. And because it's here, the pitman arm goes forward, which means when you turn this right, it twists that sector shaft this way. So if we were to turn right being that way, it would, in this orientation, turn us left. So we'd have to turn left to go right to go left. So what we did was reverse the internals of the box. Well, we didn't. My steering box guy did down the street. But he reversed it so we can run this backwards, and that allows us to get the steering box all the way forward, allows us to get a shock tower in here so we're not trying to build something over the steering box or worried about the coil over hitting the steering box. It really gets everything up and out of the way, and it'll put everything in line for our drag link here.
All right, well, we're gonna get back to work here. We'll circle back when we got some progress.
Yep. We opened all the barn stuff, started going through it, and then we started projecting back where we wanted everything. Welded the entire, well, tack welded up the entire front end in. And then we came in the next morning and threw these shock towers on. We're gonna put some heavier tacks on those today. Our goal is to get the rear leaf springs slung underneath there. We're doing a spring under setup. Get them landed back there so we have the axle down, and then we can put the weight back on the rear, get the front up, put the springs on, put it back down again, and then we can see kind of where our ride height is. The problem is the front end's real adjustable, you would say, but not necessarily, because this was about ride height, maybe a little low. The spring needs a certain amount of preload. There's a lot of kind of math that's gone into the front. We're real lucky that we've got a car like my Scout will be somewhat similar. This might be just a tad bit heavier on the nose with this inline 6, but we kind of know what we needed. We're also running the same leafs out back, but when I built mine, I wish I'd have built it a little lower, so everything we've done here is to bring it just a little bit lower. We want to keep it light and low and simple and see where it goes. Luckily, Zaed's steering box is not in the way of anything, and it actually ended up pretty good. We've got really good parallel run from our track bar to our drag link.
What can I say? I'm good at guessing now.
Yeah, this is a temporary drag link. That's just some parts that was laying in Jeff's area we welded together to make sure we knew where everything was.
Yeah, we needed a drag link, and we found one, cut it in half, and found tubing and tacked it together, and that's our new drag link for now.
We got the 3-link all in. Made the upper link a little longer than the lower links are, and that's mainly for anti-dive. So we're gonna get back in here. We're gonna do a whole bunch of measuring. We got to center the rear axle. We got to decide where that's gonna be in the vehicle, and then we'll tack it all in and see how to do it. All right, what we're doing right now is just deciding visually where we want the tire to sit on the car. We want to stretch it, but it's got to be we got to be able to use the car as well. So we got to be able to land the leaf spring, shackle hanger in the back, and stuff like that. Right now, we projected a line that's 31 inches forward of the rear frame portion. We're gonna decide how much further forward we need to mount our front mount. We'll start looking at where we want to mount that mount, what angle we're at, where we're at on the frame, because we're stretching it. And then from there, we'll mount those mounts. We'll hang the springs, we'll attach the axle, we'll bring it down, we'll decide where we want our shackle mounts to go on the rear side, and then we'll tack it all in, we'll set it down on its own weight, and we're gonna see kind of how that goes. It's gonna be a lot of looking at it, deciding, and measuring everything out, marking everything with the Sharpie. We may move it 7 times, but let's hope not. I gotta start getting home. It is a holiday weekend.
And just looking at it, I just measured from our line, 26 inches back. Our shackle hanger would end up right in the back.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we're not off the frame by a mile, so we're in an area where we can play around with it.
Yeah. And if not, we'll just cut them loose and move it again. Same setup, is really good at driving on the road. Obviously wheeled a couple of UAs. It's reliable, it's cheap, it gets us on the trail. The main thing is that your stuff doesn't sit on jack stands forever. So we're gonna get this together right now and get her out on the trail.
You know what causes them to stay on jack stands forever?
Is it standing around talking? Today we assembled some leaf hangers, got the leaves on the axle, found center on the axle. We still need to set pinion, but we got the weight on the front end. We threw a couple heavier welds on the towers and the bracket down at the axle. We have coilovers. We are fully suspended right now. No more jack stands.
Dude, I can't say enough how much I appreciate Kory coming down here to help me out.
This is the whole reason. This is why we do this.
Kory's the guy I can call at 2 in the morning and he'll pick up and say, how's it going? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, because I'm not asleep yet.
As you can see, there's a pipe in here. The transmission's held in by a ratchet strap. So the motor's bolted in. We did our modifications for the upper link bar. So I might end up having to plate that front of that motor mount there, and then I'm gonna modify the original cross member and reinforce it, and we're gonna put that back under here, and then I'm gonna get the transfer case kind of bolted in there.
We're suspending right now.
We're suspending.
There's a gorilla on our front end.
So I'm gonna get gonna get the rest of the drivetrain put in here within the week, and then I'll deal with shock towers, cut the bed, cut the wheel well more probably.
And then I'll probably inevitably come back and we'll do a whole bunch of brake lining and bleeding and
wiring.
Yep, wiring. Well, wiring's simple. We need 3 wires, and we got turn signals.
We got a couple weeks till show season, so we got to hammer down and use the time that we have, and then when we get back, we'll continue slaving away after work and off-hour work.
But all in all, in 2 days of work, right? Because we didn't really do anything yesterday. We linked and mounted the rear suspension, and assembled an axle, and we've come a long way since Saturday morning.
I was welding plates still on this thing a week ago, so
it was a hovercraft on Saturday morning around 11 a.m.
So it's nice for it it's nice for it to roll now.
Yeah.
It hasn't rolled since I drove it in here.
Oh, look at this.
All right, well, I about got my belly pan done, and I'm moving on to my gas tank skid plate. It's about lunchtime, so
I'm going home.
Kory's going home.
Until next time, Kory, you say it because you say it the best.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.